Good morning, viewers. Hope everybody's watching. I hope we're actually streaming. Are we on YouTube? Alright. Alright. We are now on day 2 of the Ontario education strike. Today is Saturday, November 5th, 2022. It is 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time. And welcome to day 2 of the Ontario education strike, as I mentioned. So, let's see what has been happening in the last 24 hours since my last stream. Things have shifted a lot. Some places are going remote now. I think some are even saying we are going back to synchronous learning, so that'll be fun. So we're doing, this is day 2 of now a big strike. I want to say this became the biggest strike we've seen since 1997. This is affecting now 2 million students have not been in school. This is now the second day of a strike. There are no picket lines such as the weekend. So as a result of that, since there are no picket lines for today.
Bill, I just checked, and both the Canada Computer Shop and the Henry's Shop open at 10.
All right. I heard my dad's going off to Henry's today, so I'll show you guys the memo that we got yesterday from the board. Talking to you guys about the plan. So here we're gonna show you guys what the plan is for this. Okay, dear parents and guardians, should Hughie Labor or maybe I heard from an email. Okay. Should the Hughie Labor Construction continue next week, all DESB schools will remain closed to in-person learning. Please apply below our plan to support students learning from home. Secondary students excluding DESB at home. On Monday, November 7th, secondary students should sign into their Google Classroom at the start of their school day. Secondary educators will be holding live learning for the first 30 minutes of each period on Monday, and beginning on Tuesday, students will receive 60 minutes of live virtual instruction for each class. We have directed staff to be flexible in terms of exceptions for students, as we recognize not all families will have the same access to the internet, and that in some families, older siblings may be assisting with child care during this period. Special education classes. Without educational assistance support, live virtual learning will not look the same as it did in the past periods of remote learning. However, educators will be communicating directly with families to provide more information on the support and learning that will be provided. At this stage, DESB does not know how long this labor construction will last. We are working to ensure that students are supported as much as possible during this time. We will continue to update families on our plans to support students learning if this labor construction continues and schools remain closed to in-person learning as a result. So that was the communication we got from the board. But then I actually had another communication out from the directly from one of the superintendents of the board, saying that without the option of remote learning, it will not look the same. So,
really, Dylan.
Yeah. Now I'll show you guys what's going on in the media today. We won't stream for long. We won't be streaming for long today. What has been going on in the last 24 hours? Yesterday, this is the biggest strike we've seen in quite a while. We have not been out of the classroom for. I had not been in the classroom now for 2 days, missing. Apparently, a lot of boards have decided to go remote, and apparently, the government has went to the Labor Relations Board, the Ontario OL, the Ontario Labor Relations Board. So has them notified. So I think we're good to go. So I think let's get for that. But let's go to CTV. Well, not stream for very long today. It's looking like only because it's Saturday. No picket lines will be up because it's Saturday because today's the weekend. So we will be looking at picket lines over the next couple of days. Right? I want to say this is the biggest. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be going back to school for the next while. Apparently, some boards have decided to go synchronous learning. This is the bad. Or even my guys, these updates are going to be done a daily basis during this strike period, and for the starting yesterday, November 4th, and for the duration of the strike, we will be staying up to date with the news a lot. So let's see what happens.
Off the job, out on strike. Tens of thousands of Ontario education workers walking the picket lines across the province.
We're live over Queen's Park, where a massive demonstration is underway. A protest over the government's attempt to impose a contract and stop the job action. Good afternoon. The strike is considered illegal, but is not stopping education workers from following through on their threat.
It has shut down schools, some indefinitely, putting the future in limbo for millions of students and their families. We'll have more on that in a moment. But first, CTV's Janice Golding is live at Queen's Park this hour, where the biggest rally is taking place today. Janice.
Hi, Michelle. Yes, we have been here all morning, and I can tell you it's been a very large and noisy gathering here at Queen's Park, with support workers as well as their supporters gathering on the lawn of the legislature, starting at around 7 this morning. A show of force and solidarity as thousands of picketers gathered outside Queen's Park this morning. The first day of an indefinite and illegal strike involving education workers from across the province.
And this is only one of 126 different protests happening in every corner of our province today, because these workers, 70% of whom are women, 60% of whom are laid off every summer, whose average wage is only $39,000 a year, who have had a premier and a minister of education and a majority government try to bully and intimidate them, decided that they are not going to just stand for that. They're going to stand up, and that they're going to fight back.
Just yesterday, the province enacted a law which bans the CUPE workers from striking, also imposing a contract on the 55,000 support staff, invoking the notwithstanding clause to counter a potential constitutional challenge.
I'm here because of the infringement on the Charter of Rights and forcing people to go back to work and not bargain a fair deal.
But the workers are striking nonetheless, despite potential fines the union could face, which amount to more than $220 million a day.
The legislation has maximum fines up to $4,000 a day per member, and I think it's $500,000 a day for the union. They'll be in front of the labor board, I guess, today, or they started last night. We'll figure out what that is. But our members, as you know, have been through this before. 99 and 2001, we faced legislation in the same way. We got an arbitration process out of it. We worked our way through it.
In response, Education Minister Stephen Lecce issued this statement, quote, immediately following proclamation of the Keeping Students in Class Act, we filed a submission to the Ontario Labour Relations Board in response to CUPE's illegal strike action. Proceedings started last night and will continue today. Nothing matters more right now than getting all students back in the classroom, and we will use every tool available to us to do so. While CUPE in the province battle it out before the Labour Board, school boards across the province have shut their doors, students and parents being forced to stay home.
We're here to fight for what we feel is right in our hearts. And at the end of the day, it's all about the kids, I agree. But we need to support each other.
The province's new 4-year deal that it's imposing would give a 2.5% annual raise to workers making less than $43,000 and 1.5% to workers earning more. CUPE had originally been seeking pay hikes of 11.7% a year. The union said yesterday its latest offer was about half of what was originally proposed, which would be about a 6% wage increase.
You're now looking at a live shot from the CTV News Chopper, which shows you just how huge a gathering this is at Queen's Park. Now, we have just heard from Laura Walton, the head of the union representing these workers, and she says that they will not be back in schools on Monday, which means the strike will continue next week. Walton says that the Ford government has stripped these workers of both their human rights as well as their charter rights, so they will keep fighting this battle as long as they need to. Reporting live from Janice Golding, now back to Nathan.
All right, thank you, Janice. Striking workers are taking their protests to politicians' offices right across the province. Close to 100 different demonstrations are planned. This is the scene today outside Education Minister Stephen Lecce's constituency office in King City.
Stephen Lecce is using more effort to strip away the rights of all of these workers. You know, going to the labor board, he has done more trying to defeat these workers than he has to protect these workers.
And this is a live look outside the Premier's office in Etobicoke, where protesters are also starting to gather this noon hour. Members of other unions coming out showing their solidarity for the striking workers. And dealing with the consequences of the job action are Ontario students and families. CTV's Austin Delaney joins us with the impact on schools. Austin.
Well, the school board said they had no choice but to close. That forced parents to find alternative care for their kids, take the day off or work from home. Lindsay Mason and her 2 girls off school today because of the strike.
I'm definitely in support of it. Like it's still impacting us, but I fully understand the reasons for it.
Mason, like other working parents, making do but concerned the strike will last into next week.
That would be unfortunate, but again, I think it's understandable with inflation and everything that's going on.
GTA schools closed today, including the Toronto District School Board, the Toronto Catholic District School Board. Peel District School Board says students will be learning online. The York Region District School Board says it had no choice but to close, while the York Catholic District School Board says it planned to close its schools as well. The Dufferin-Peel Catholic District School Board also planned to close. The Durham District School Board planned to close school for in-person learning. Halton District School Board planned to keep elementary schools open on an alternate in-person online schedule. Halton Catholic District School Board will be offering remote learning.
With the CUPE members, nearly 15,000 CUPE members at the TDSB outside of our schools, we can't guarantee the supervision, the safety, the cleanliness of our schools for students right now, and so that's why they're closed to students.
What will happen next if the strike continues?
So today is asynchronous or independent work that students can do at home. It's not live classroom learning, but we know that if this does continue into next week, we're making plans to quickly transition over to that synchronous live classroom learning, albeit remotely, early next week. And plans are underway to get that underway as soon as possible.
Parents say they will have to make do.
We're fortunate enough that we're in a position that we could probably manage if the kids were out of school for maybe an extended period of time. But, you know, not everybody's in that position.
And parents I spoke to today say because of COVID, they're now used to online learning. TDSB says any teacher that didn't show up for work today and participated in the protest will be docked a day's pay. Reporting live, I'm Austin Delaney.
All right, thank you, Austin. And our coverage continues online. Stay up to date on the situation with live updates on the strike and the labor dispute at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
And take a look at this breathtaking sight. Another foggy morning in Toronto. You can barely see the top of the skyline there. This is a view from a high-rise downtown. The reduced visibility prompting warnings for drivers and an advisory from Environment Canada. And here's a live look right now of our city skyline. This is actually the islands. Wow, the fog has dissipated. We're looking forward to sunny skies.
Well, yeah, well, it was foggy. It was true, actually. It was actually foggy. It's true.
We will use every tool available to government to open these schools.
This stopped being about labor disruption. This started to be about the ripping away of workers' rights.
Out of class, on the picket lines, and into a weekend of anxiety. The labor dispute affecting tens of thousands of people across Ontario. Good evening. The Ford government called CUPE's bluff, and the union and its thousands of workers were not afraid to show their hand.
An illegal strike over failed contract talks, shutting down schools and shutting out kids across Ontario. We have comprehensive coverage for you tonight. Austin Delaney's looking at the reaction of parents to the strike and how they're planning for a potential long haul.
Beth McDonnell is on the government's position and what it is doing to get schools reopened. But we begin with Janice Goulding, who's been following the striking workers today.
Yeah.
Janice.
Hi, Michelle. As you can see, the picketers have gone home for the day. However, they started arriving here at Queen's Park at around 7 this morning. And Toronto police actually tell us there are around 10,000 people who pass through here through the day, with anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 people picketing at any given time. And this was just one of 127 protests that took place across the province.
When we stand together, we will win together!
A show of force and solidarity as thousands of picketers gathered outside Queen's Park this morning. The first day of an indefinite and illegal strike involving education workers from across the province.
I can't say how long this will last, but I can say this. Our members are willing to fight. They are the ones who will make this decision, and we will support them.
Just yesterday, the province imposed a contract on the 55,000 support staff, enacting a law which bans the CUPE workers from striking. It also invoked the notwithstanding clause to protect against constitutional challenges.
So this is important to show that we will not take it. He needs to rescind the legislation.
We don't do this job because we wanted to make a fortune. We do this because we love people, we love children, we want to help them, we want to build a better society. And this government's disgusting.
The strike action particularly defiant, given the union could face fines of more than $220 million each day workers are off the job.
The 4-year deal the province is imposing would give 2.5% annual raises to workers making less than $43,000 and 1.5% for workers earning more. CUPE had originally been seeking pay hikes of 11.7% a year. The union said yesterday its latest offer was about half of what was originally proposed, which would be around a 6% wage increase.
People understand what we're doing, and they understand we're doing it on behalf of them too. We'll set the rates for people across the city, not just us.
While CUPE and the province battle it out before the Labour Board, school boards across the province have shut their doors, students and parents being...
Well, we had no idea. I had no idea.
Forced to stay home.
We want to be back in front of our kids
We
as
had-
soon as we possibly can. But we cannot go back when you're stripping away our charter rights, when you're stripping away our human rights.
Hands off our labor rights! Hands off our right to strike!
And CUPE says an attack on the support workers' rights is an attack on all workers' bargaining rights.
So again, Fred Hahn told reporters he doesn't have a crystal ball, so he does not know when the strike will end. However, he says his members are ready to bargain whenever the government is ready to bargain. Reporting live, Janice Goulding. Now back to Nathan.
All right, thank you, Janice. The Ford government's been before.
We kind of been stuck. I don't know what to do. Like, I can't get to school now. I can't learn. I can't learn. We're kind of out of stage now. We're kind of
Hands under the pants. Now what are you doing? Rearranging my photograph albums. Instead of by quarter, I do it by. Look at all those leaves. Look at them all. See?
I don't know what I'm going to do for the next. I don't know what what we're gonna do. Like, I'm
Before the
gonna
Provincial
walk
Labor
out.
Relations Board for
But
much of the past 24 hours, it plans to use everything at its disposal to end this strike. Joining us now is CTV's Beth
Oh,
McDonnell
God.
with more on the province's position
Oh,
tonight.
no.
Beth.
What?
Nathan, this strike was made illegal when the government passed its law. Now the government has made a submission to the Ontario Labor Relations Board, and there today, lawyers
We've
with
been
unions seeking
looking at the
intervener
news
status
every day
were talking about
in my
how
live
CUPE was
streams.
actually able to strike until this strike was made illegal. On the other side at the hearing today, we're hearing that this hearing is not about whether about the law,
We
it's actually about
don't know
whether
what
the
we're going
strike
to do
is
now. We
unlawful.
can't. I've been.
It's a bitter
Either
dispute the government has
crap.
warned could cost striking members and their
Pretty
union
much our
hefty
backs are
fines.
against the
The
wall.
Minister of Education says immediately following the law being passed, the government made a submission to the
Moving for
Ontario Labor
affordable
Relations Board
synchronous learning.
asking for the strike to be declared illegal.
We're going to make a vigorous case that there must be an end to this disruption, that children
Honestly,
in Ontario
I would
have
really
paid the
support
price
it.
of the
Strike
pandemic.
over.
The strike was already made illegal when the Keeping Students in School Act
I
passed
support
Thursday
the workers,
afternoon
however.
and given
They have
royal
definitely
assent.
not.
But some labor and employment lawyers say going to the board gives the government more power to
had no
proceed
idea.
and levy the fines.
The bill means members could face a $4,000
But yeah,
fine per
well,
day. The union
I'm gonna say in the
$500,000
first
a
place,
day. The
it
NDP
definitely
says
had a
it wants the
bigger
law
impact on
thrown
me.
out.
This
Wave
is a government
two, the
that is
impact for
abusing
me
our
was
education system. It's
kind
making
of
parents and children
minimal.
angry. It's
Was
hurting.
minimal.
And I think in the court of
still
public
were
opinion,
able to
they're going to have
go
increasing
the
problems.
impact was
Some lawyers for
a lot
unions
of
at the
the
hearing
second
today are asking why the
impact
dispute didn't go to
disruption
arbitration,
was
are
minimal.
concerned about charter rights and what the law means for
But
other
then when we
unions
had
who have
the
negotiations
various
coming up.
like
The education minister says if
Thursday
workers
by
have a
the very
problem, they should protest
that we
after
had
school
wave
hours.
5,
The
wave
heavy-handed
4,
approach here is a
wave
strike
5.
imposed on millions of kids and a million parents and our entire society and economy that is having to face this type of anxiety.
Today, repeating the government will use every tool available to get kids back to in-person learning.
Yeah.
QP tells me it's expecting the hearing to conclude by Monday. Reporting live, I'm Beth McDonnell. Michelle, back to you.
This is something
Thank you,
we are
Beth.
going to
Let's turn to
constantly
CTV's
monitor
Austin now, who's
through
been
the
speaking with
weekend.
families today as they are forced to navigate childcare once again.
The
Austin.
weekend. That's why we were doing
Well, having the kids home on this
daily
first strike day
updates
was
so
definitely a lot
we're
easier for some
seeing
parents than it
what
was
we're
for
gonna
others.
do.
Some parents could work from home, others
Oh.
could not do that.
Hi, Ratbink. How are you? All right, I'm gonna actually respond to Ratbink. Hi, Ratbink. Okay, Ratbink's reached out, so right when I was listening to the article on the news, he's Ratbink. So, well, this is a big deal. I want to get your thoughts on this.
The Wexford Park playground full of kids this afternoon on what normally would be a school day.
It's not ideal.
Not ideal, quips Naola
Right,
Clark, because
along with-
this would normally be a work day.
Right.
But now she finds herself at the park with her children, wondering how long they'll be out of the classroom.
The
And if that's how
strike
it goes, that's how
has
it goes.
now,
I support
I
why they're
don't
striking.
know.
So as much as it's inconvenient and it's terrible to have the kids out of school
Honestly,
again, I think that it's
yeah, we've been
necessary
staying
that
very
the
glued to
salaries
the
be brought
news
up.
The TDSB
nonstop
says it is not
over the
possible to bring
last couple
students
of
back
days.
while support staff strike.
We can't guarantee the supervision, the safety, the cleanliness of our schools for students right now.
Some working parents we spoke to found it hard today.
I want to support, but if the school is
Wow.
closed, then it's not easy for us.
Christian had to take the day off to care for his triplets, but he cannot do that next week again.
I have to work. I have to feed my family. And if I have to take a day off to stay at home, it's really going to tell on me. It's going to tell on my finances.
The TDSB says it is preparing for the worst.
If this does continue into next week, we're making plans to quickly transition over to that synchronous live classroom learning, albeit remotely,
They're not even
early
joking.
next week.
Isaac, what do you think about maybe having to learn from home again online?
Boo!
Christelle Stratton supports the job action and says she'll just take it day by day if schools stay closed next week.
That would be unfortunate,
I want
but
to say
again,
this
I
is
think it's
the
understandable
6th time
with inflation
in 2 years.
everything that's going on.
I had
it'll drag on, but if
4 who that was pushed to remote learning.
It's going to bring us
2
a lot
were
of stress for
the
sure.
Some parents tell me they have become accustomed to online
But
learning.
then the last time, but then
manage
September 2022,
out of school for
I actually got COVID.
but you know, not everyone
I
is in that position.
Many parents still working from home because of COVID. And so this weekend they'll scramble again to find care for their children, not knowing how long this job action will last, how long their children will be locked out of the classrooms. Reporting live, I'm Austin Delaney.
All right, thank you, Austin. Prime Minister Trudeau was in Toronto today, and he once again criticized the Ford government's handling of the ongoing education dispute.
The proactive use of the notwithstanding clause is actually an attack on people's fundamental rights. And in this case, is an attack on one of the most basic rights available, that of collective bargaining.
While the inquiry continues over his government's use of the Emergencies Act, the PM says Ottawa is looking at all options on how to respond to Premier Ford's use of the notwithstanding clause.
Our coverage continues online, including up-to-the-minute information on the dispute and what school boards are planning for Monday in the event there is no resolution over the weekend.
Well, yes. Well, I mean, now we're up to the 11:30 news.
Go buses may not be running come Monday as labor negotiations reach an impasse.
Yeah.
No. That's right. And
about 15% of Go users actually take bus. Throughout the
it
will finish its route. And back to you inside.
Workers across. All right, thank you, Andrew. Well, from the classroom to the picket line, education workers across Ontario also walking off the job today amidst an ongoing labor dispute. This despite the Ford government passing legislation making the strike illegal, imposing a 4-year contract. CTV's Janice Goulding reports from Queen's Park.
We don't know how
a show of force and solidarity as thousands of picketers gathered outside Queen's Park this morning.
We were
the first day of an indefinite and illegal strike involving education workers
We've
from
been
across the
listening to the
province.
media
I can't say hello so last, but I can say this.
throughout the
Our members are
duration of
willing
the
to
strike.
fight. They are the ones who will make this decision, and we will support them.
Just yesterday, the province imposed a contract on the 55,000 support staff, enacting a law which bans the QP workers from striking. It also invoked the notwithstanding clause to protect against
Honestly,
constitutional challenges.
So this is important to show that we will not take it. He needs to rescind the legislation.
We don't do this job because we wanted to make a fortune. We do this
Total,
because
I have
we
had
love
6
people, we love children, we want to help them,
throughout
we want to
year.
build a better society, and this government's disgusting.
The strike action particularly defiant, given the union could face
week,
fines of more than $220 million each day workers are off the job.
The 4-year deal the province is imposing would give 2.5% annual raises to workers making less than $43,000 and 1.5% for workers earning more. QP had originally been seeking pay hikes of 11.7% a year. The union said yesterday its latest offer was about half of what was originally proposed, which would be around a 6% wage increase.
People understand what we're doing, and they understand we're doing it on behalf of them too. We'll set the rates for people across the city, not just us.
While QP and the province battle it out before the Labour Board, school boards across the province have shut their doors, students and parents being forced to stay home.
We want to be back in front of our
I
kids as
did
soon
not
as we
want
possibly
to be
can.
home.
But we cannot go back
It was-
when you're stripping away our charter rights, when you're stripping away our human rights.
Hands off our labor rights! Hands off our right to strike!
And QP says an attack on the support workers' rights is an attack on all workers' bargaining rights. Janice Goulding, CTV News.
And as QP members walked the picket lines, the education minister wasted no time bringing the fight against the illegal strike to the Labour Board.
Immediately upon passing
The illegal strike to the Labor Board.
Immediately upon passing the Keeping Students in Class Act, we filed a submission to the Ontario Labour Relations Board. That's in response to CUPE's illegal strike action. The proceedings started last night, and they're going to continue today. And we're going to make a vigorous case that there must be an end to this disruption. The children in Ontario have paid the price of the pandemic. You have a concern, come at 4 o'clock and protest at Queen's Park. Come and protest at any government office. To walk out on kids is not fair.
While the strike was already made illegal when the legislation was passed on Thursday, some legal experts believe having the Labor Board on side may give the government more leverage. A decision from the board is expected to be reached on Saturday. And just ahead, caught in the middle of the heated labor battle, Austin Delaney talks to parents and students as they navigate another disruption to learning in school. But first, let's give you a live look right now at downtown Toronto and City Hall, where it's mostly 7-day forecast. Briere was
as tightly as they
killed.
5. He says of a clinical keep down. This includes raise money.
Get the radio.
Contingency plans. The labor dispute between the
Pauline.
Yes, well, here in my area, and here in my area, we were are on the way to doing that to make that decision formal. I think we're looking at I think create some across the board. I guess we're starting to create everyone to
Dan, CTV News.
As a change agent.
Oh, the labor dispute between the province and thousands of education workers has students once again learning from home. With no foreseeable end to the disruption, school boards are making contingency plans and parents are planning childcare. CTV's Austin Delaney with more.
The Wexford Park playground
Never
full of kids this
would
afternoon
have.
on what normally would be a school day.
It's not ideal.
Not ideal, quips Neola Clark, because this would normally be a work day. But now she finds herself at the park with her children, wondering how long they'll be out of the classroom.
And if that's how it goes, that's how it goes. I support why they're striking. So as much as it's inconvenient and it's terrible to have the kids out of school again, I think
yes, well,
it's
it's been
necessary
really
that
bad
the
for me.
salaries be brought up.
The TDSB says it is not possible to
I'm
bring
already
students back
now
while
way
support
behind
staff strike.
We can't guarantee the supervision, the safety, the cleanliness of our schools for students right now.
Some working parents we spoke to found it hard today.
I want to support, but if school is closed, then it's not easy for us.
Christian had to take the day off to care for his triplets, but he cannot do that next week again.
I have to work. I have to feed my family. And if I have to take a day off to stay at home, it's really going to tell on me. It's going to tell on my finances.
The TDSB says it is preparing for the worst.
If this does continue into next week, we're making plans to quickly transition over to that synchronous live classroom learning, albeit remotely, early next week.
Isaac, what do you think about maybe having to learn from home again online?
Boo!
Christelle Stratton supports the job action and says she'll just take it day by day if schools stay closed next week.
That would be unfortunate, but again, I think it's understandable with inflation and everything that's going on.
I'm worried it'll drag on, but if it drags on, it drags on. It's more of if it must, it must.
It's going to bring us a lot of stress for sure.
Some parents tell me they have become accustomed to online learning.
We're fortunate enough that we're in a position that we could probably manage if the kids were out of school for maybe an extended period of time. But, not everybody's in that position.
Many parents still working from home because of COVID. Austin Delaney, CTV News.
Coming up here on CTV News, it is Canada's showcase for the best in food and
So when you took a video at 4:40 a.m. on my camera. Oh, Dad.
You're busted.
One Team West. Are you even the host of the pod? You know, there were actually a lot more photos that were taken of that fog between of the fog because it was actually a lot more dense around the early morning yesterday.
Yes.
I actually kind of want to see if I can have those photos, not just on yours, but on mine as well. You're not. Are you not? Are you just gonna keep them up, or are you just gonna take them down?
Take one down.
I guess you're gonna leave the photos of the fog up because they just because that fog was just a very much. It's never been, at least it hasn't been that foggy in I think in quite a long time. We had fog like.
You were taking pictures of the fog. 4:48 a.m. What the hell were you doing with my phone, Dylan?
You know.
Oh, you're busted, buddy. I'm gonna look at every one of these pictures. I'm gonna delete them.
Yeah, you're not deleting them.
I have to look at every one of these pictures. Now, figure out what the hell is going on. I have to look and see first of all what they look like. Because they're crappy pictures and there's no point. Hands out of the pants. Okay, so these are the ones that I took.
I don't think they're crappy. Some of them.
These are ones. Were you out?
What?
You were out of the house at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, you know, it would have been nice to see what the areas were like hours later. Because it was still foggy.
Were you using the night pictures? The night vision? Hands out of the pants.
I think some of them were on the night vision and some of them were on the regular. Some regular, some night vision.
You were out on Liverpool?
I kind of want some.
Where was this one? Bike lanes?
Well, this was Highway 2.
On Kingston. Well, you went all the way down to Kingston Road.
Well, I actually wanted to explore a lot more areas because there was a lot more fog around Pickering. It was the Anthony Golf Course.
That's the Loblaws one again.
Oh, what? I didn't. Those ones I could delete. There was the wall, like, yeah. I feel like having a lot of those photos on my computer as well. That I was having just the ones that I took around the phone. I want to feel like you're actually more boy.
Well, I'm going all the way. Like this thing is scooping out. Like you can see the time. 4:48.
4:50 in the morning. 4:45. 5 in the morning.
You just went overboard. Hands under the pants.
Yeah. 5:22 a.m. This is the last one. And this is the one from
Those are my pictures.
Yeah.
The video. You took a brief video.
Well, Dad, because that box, I want to at least have a memory, at least see if we happen to know.
Oh, now I have to open each one of these and resave them so I can edit them. I have to open them up in my really old paint shop program, and then.
And also, I want to actually see if I could get a lot of those photos on my computer too. So at least we can have.
I'd have to plug them in. I have to take my phone and plug it into your computer.
And get into yours. I would actually want all of your photos that you have on my computer as well. So at least you can have. At least I don't have to have on your computer and watch them all the time. Yeah, that will also kind of help with that will also kind of help with
A lot of my pictures are here. In this, I gotta reorganize pictures in that, or just simply delete everything and then write over with what I've got in my current pictures.
yeah. It was foggy. We had really bad fog. Yeah.
Everybody shouldn't be running around in 4 or 5 in the morning, hands out, outside, like we had no idea.
Alright.
What would happen if the cops had come by and said, "Who are you and what are you doing?" That would have been quite.
That was so early in the morning. I think this is actually given how early in the morning. Not a lot of the road. I didn't give it was so early in the morning. But hey, we're not going to be doing that next time. And say next time we have dense fog, we're probably going to stay within the way. Yeah, all right. From that night we're good. I took some more.
Province is promising the.
Alright, guys. I think that's the end of the stream for this morning. So we'll hop off here. So see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye everybody. I hope everyone has a safe day and talk to you guys next time, which will be tomorrow, around tomorrow, if we're gonna be going nonstop from here. Bye.